Hello, hello. Let's talk about the coming full moon. It's a supermoon, full supermoon. It happens on the 17th of October. And let's remember that with every astrological event like that, full moon every around 30 days, 29 days, and new moon, the same frequency, is the build up to the event. So the last few days before this specific date, this is where we will feel these energies the most. Okay, so it's not necessarily on the 17th of October that we will feel it, but it may be like 2-3 days before, potentially also a few days after as well. So this full moon, full supermoon, happens in 24 degrees of Aries, which means that the moon is in 24 degrees of Aries at the time, and the sun is in the opposing sign of Libra, 24 degrees of Libra. So we have the full moon. The usual meaning of full moon is that obviously there is some kind of culmination, completion, things coming to some kind of fruition. It's the light shining on certain area of our life, certain energies, events, spheres of our life, where 24 degrees of Aries falls in your chart. This is where you will be focusing this, let's say, intensity of emotions and culmination and some kind of completion. It is very much about some climax, I would say, when there is a situation that you are waiting for to be resolved, for example, or you have planted a seed some time ago. Now things are going to come to fruition one way or another. But full moons usually are very intense times anyway, because the sun and moon are opposing each other. So there's this culmination, things getting revealed, coming up to surface, getting resolved sometimes. So that's the first thing. Also, on top of this, it's a supermoon, meaning that the moon astronomically is very close in its closest position to the Earth, meaning that, for example, some maybe like, Earth, weather conditions, tectonic movements, things like that are going to be more. The Earth is more prone to experience extreme weather, I would say, during this during supermoon. A few weeks ago, when we had the eclipse, was one lunation as well, eclipse in Pisces. It was conjuncting Neptune. Neptune obviously symbolizing water. This is when we had all these floods in Central Europe, for example, but not only. So it was very watery, very floody, kind of. It brought a lot of flooding. Lunation, right? It was a supermoon as well. So the Earth is more prone to get these energies from the moon, and it may be colored differently depending how the full moon or new moon is actually aspected. This one is much more fiery because this supermoon is actually ruled by Mars because it falls in Aries. Mars represents fire. This full moon, full supermoon, is a grand cardinal cross, so it's a really powerful one. I'll describe it step by step. I think it's probably it is the most powerful full moon of the whole 2024. Okay, so it's really essential to have a look where these degrees fall in your chart. You can prepare somehow, and you can definitely use it to your advantage as well. I'll tell you how. But this full moon will be very much colored with fire. Mars, fire, Aries. So just like we had water flooding Neptune a few weeks ago, this one will be much more colored with some kind of event, I would say, like dramatic events, brutality potentially, fire, violence as well. Just one of the options, right? But it's definitely fiery. It's Mars oriented, ruled by Mars. So what is the Grand Cardinal Cross? It brings very dynamic energy. If you imagine the whole circle of 360 degrees, when we have the 12 signs of the zodiac, every full moon we have sun and moon opposing each other within the circle, its axis. But this time we have Grand Cardinal Cross, meaning that there are two other planets creating opposing, like kind of 90 degrees aspects to each other. So we have Sun and Moon opposing each other, and we have Pluto and Mars opposing each other as well, squaring respectively Sun and Moon. Grand Cardinal Cross. It is a cross. Cross always brings tension. This is about challenge, it's about tension, because it incorporates Pluto as well in the last degree of Capricorn. Pluto is leaving Capricorn for good now in November, and it won't come back there for hundreds of years. So we'll never experience it again. But now it's literally in the last degree of Capricorn, and it's opposing Mars in Cancer. So all 4 cardinal signs: Moon in Aries, Sun in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn, Mars in Cancer. So this cross, cardinal cross, on an individual level, because this is what kind of interests us the most, isn't it? How we can utilize it, how we can avoid certain negative interpretations, manifestations of this aspect. So on a very individual level in our lives, how we can utilize it is definitely to push through with some big projects. It creates tension, but it creates also tension to help us push through, to help us achieve. It's very much focused around achievement, okay? So motivation, immense strength, definitely power plays, some emotional intensity because of the full moon regarding power play, Pluto, Mars, okay? So we will experience it in our lives. Have a look where 24 degrees of Aries and Libra fall in your chart. Have a look where Mars and Pluto, what areas are currently transiting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can either contact an astrologer or find some free platforms on internet where you can input your data and you can see your chart. It will generate your chart, so you'll see where the positions of the planets are, or where the moment when you were born, and this is your natal chart for life. We only have just one chart for life, okay? So you can always have a look at it to observe the current transits. So especially with this grand cardinal cross, depending where it falls in your chart, you can utilize this energy to face certain challenge. You can utilize this energy to really achieve something, to motivate yourself, to show immense strength, push through, and prove yourself and others that you are able to create some kind of breakthrough of energy in the area of your life that you want. But it's very much about this immense strength, achievement, motivation, but it doesn't come easy. It's a cross, so it's a challenge, okay? So it will create tension initially, but then it will call on your inner strength, and you will have an opportunity to truly achieve something, accomplish something with your own effort, okay? But it may be a bit dramatic as well initially. Now on the world stage is a very different story, because we know what's going on in the world, and I am afraid that in the run up to this full moon it will only get more fiery, more volatile, more brutal, more violent, definitely. Every astrologer will tell you this with this grand cardinal cross. There is no other way. It's a very dynamic cross, a very fiery, as I said. Power play is immensely at play here during this full moon. Opposition, conflict, intensity, tension. It's about preparation to get ready. It's about preparation to take action. It's about getting ready to take some action. But on the world stage, it will definitely increase some energies of war, brutality, violence, and these power plays, tension, brutality. Especially I would watch the space a few days before the 17th of October, with some kind of culmination around 17th of October. So a few days before, a few days after, I'm afraid we will witness more like intensified situation that already we are witnessing at the moment. It's going to get intensified, unfortunately. So when we choose how to process this grand cardinal cross, this immense, very strong, intense full supermoon on individual level in our lives, remember that if you face the challenge, if you feel inner tension, if you feel conflicts around you are arising, and there is this power play that definitely we will experience in one way or another, the way to process it is to face the challenge and push through and really achieve and really push yourself, motivate yourself, and come up with some solutions rather than shy away from the confrontation. The key to success here is to actually allow the confrontation and show your immense strength so that you can actually push through rather than shy away from it. I hope it makes sense. I think that's everything. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.